Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So a month back or two, I finished reading this very talked about book all over the Bookstagram, all over the booktube community, which is Life's Amazing Secret by Gaur Gopal Das. And I don't think I need to give any introduction about this author. He is very well known among the masses. So yeah, in this video, I'm not gonna be reviewing this book for you guys, because there were several lessons which I learned from this book, and I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to tell you all the lessons that I learned from this book. So let's begin. Alright, so the very first thing I learned from this book is that we should always try to be a good listener. You know, we often tend to assume a lot of things in our head, and we often think that the person who has all the comforts, who has all the luxuries, is the one who is the most satisfied, most content and most happiest person. But this may not always be the true, because often at times it is the person who has all the luxuries and comfort can be the one who is least satisfied, or the unhappiest person. So this book has definitely taught me to be less stringent with our thoughts and assumptions, and we should always try to empathize with people instead of assuming a lot of things in our head. So this was one of the lessons which I really liked from this book. Secondly, the book says us to be positive. The book propagates the idea that when negativity grips our mind, not only do we lose the ability to appreciate the beauty around us, not only do we lose the ability to look at the beautiful things, but we also lose our ability to solve any problem, and thus we force ourselves to go into that never-ending trap. So, and things become even more problematic for us. So the book has definitely taught me to be appreciative of the things, to offer gratitude even in the worst case scenarios. Another very valuable lesson which I learned from this book is the willingness to give and serve others. See, it's very common and natural that we often tend to serve or give to our loved ones, but when we are willing to give to someone in need, then nothing can be greater than that. Also, gratitude has been given a lot of importance in this book. According to the author, we must practice and develop gratitude, and one of the best ways we can do this is by contemplation. This book also propounds or propagates the importance of meditation, prayer and spirituality. The book also gives you ways to perceive people differently. You know, the book has propagated 5 different ways as to how you can perceive people in your relationships. Under type 1, there are people who can see only bad. They cannot see any good in people. Then there is type 2 people who can see both good and bad, but they purposely or out of willingness they refuse or to see the goodness, or they neglect the goodness. Then there are type 3 people who can also see both good and bad, but they choose to be neutral. They are neither in the good side nor in the bad side, but they choose to be neutral. Then there are people who fall in the category 4. They are the people who can see both good and bad, but they consciously decide to neglect the bad. They try to see goodness in people. And then at last come the people who fall in category 5th. They are the people who cannot see any bad at all. They see the slightest good in people and they tend to magnify it. However, according to the author, the ideal stage is stage 4, or the ideal people are the people who belong to category 4. Because they are very good for relationships. The 7th lesson which I learned from this book is the power of forgiveness. You know, author says that we should be able to have empathy to understand that everyone is going through different set of challenges every day. You know, when somebody acts harshly towards us, most of the time it is not intentional. It happens because they themselves are going through their own battles each day. They are fighting their own battle each day. They are going through their fair share of problems each day. So we, at least on our part, can, try to not magnify their problems, and even for that matter our problems. So yeah, this was the 7th lesson which I took away from this book, and I really liked it. Next very valuable thing that I took away from this book is to be the best version of yourself. You know, we should always try to have and develop healthy competition. We should always be competing with ourselves, and every day we should try to be the best version of ourselves, and that way we can ultimately transform ourselves to be the best human being. Another very important, or let's say valuable lesson which I learned from this book is to be selfless in life. According to author, we all are selfish human beings, and it takes a lot of courage to be able to be selfless. And author has substantiated this theory with the example of a candle and an ice cream. The philosophy of ice cream says that enjoy before it melts, whereas the philosophy of candle propounds that give light to others before melting. So we as human beings should always and always shift our attitude from being selfish to being selfless, from being from following the philosophy of ice cream to following the philosophy of candle, and that way we can lead a very happy, satisfied and fulfilling life. That's it, guys. These were the lessons which I learned from this very popular book, and I could totally understand why the hype was so much. So yeah, I hope you liked today's video. I read a good non-fiction after a really long time. And yeah, if you like the video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Also, if you would want a copy for yourself of this book, then I'll mention the buy link in the description. Don't forget to check. And you can also connect with me on my Instagram. I'll provide the IG handle somewhere here. And until then, be safe, do well, keep connected, and thank you.